Welcome to the Three Mouseketeers, the sibling podcast that understands your Disney addiction. I'm Jared.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Emily.
On today's episode, we're going to talk about something that we typically don't talk about, and that's going to be Guess Gone Wild. But first, we're going to do some trivia. You guys ready to play?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. This one is a Walt question. How many Academy Awards does Walt Disney have? You have the option of 20, 22, 24, or 25.
Oh, goodness. I know that I did a history one time about Walt Disney winning awards, but I thought that those were Oscars.
Yeah, Academy Awards.
Is that the same thing?
It's the same thing.
I'm not into the whole awards thing, as you can tell.
I am.
Well, I did a history on this one time, and I still can't remember.
I like how they're all even numbers except for the very last one. 20, 22, 24, or 25.
Mm-hmm.
That seems weird.
Maybe
My
maybe
guess-
that's your sign that that's the answer.
I don't think that's the answer.
Okay. Well, then what do you think the answer is?
For some reason, 22 is jumping out at me, but I don't know if that's right.
22 was also jumping out at me, and I really have no excuse. I should know this since I did a history on it.
22, final answer.
Yeah, 22 sounds good.
All right. Well, first, let's go ahead and say that he holds the record on wins and nominations for an Academy Award. So
Fantastic.
you are correct. 22 is the correct answer. So congratulations. You both got it right.
Yay!
Woo.
We did it! We double did it.
I know, that's awesome.
Double did it
Look at
indeed.
us.
All right. Well, Emily, why don't you go ahead and get us into a history fact?
Okay, for today's history, I am going to talk a little bit about the history of Pirates of the Caribbean before it was Pirates of the Caribbean at Disney World. So, this ride was extremely popular at Disneyland, and as we know, Disneyland opened before Disney World. So, this already had a cult following, and people really loved it. But when Disney World opened, people noticed that Pirates of the Caribbean was not one of the rides included, and a lot of people complained about that and really wanted the ride. And then, come to find out, instead of Pirates of the Caribbean, they had planned an entire Western River expedition ride because they thought that Pirates of the Caribbean in Florida wouldn't work due to the proximity of Florida to the Caribbean. So they thought guests wouldn't want to ride that ride for whatever reason. But people did, and so they ended up having to completely scrap their Western River expedition ride and put in Pirates of the Caribbean in its place.
Very interesting. So this is like the origins of guests complaining and Disney listening and changing their minds.
Yeah,
So it's like a change.org.
it is, except now I feel like people complain and not much happens.
Sometimes it does. Hey, they brought back the Ohana noodles.
Go Noodles. That's
Hey,
a
I'm
big
just
one.
saying.
That sounds like a sad high school mascot. Go Noodles.
Go Noodles.
Well, that's a pretty fun fact. Thanks, Emily. Amanda, why don't you go ahead and give us a tip for the week?
If you're looking for a little bit extra to do on your next Walt Disney World trip and you have a little bit of downtime, you could go to Try Circle D Ranch. That's at Fort Wilderness. And you can go either horseback riding, or for your littles that are with you, you can have them go on a pony ride.
Very cool.
Fun.
Yeah. So the pony ride is for anyone over 2, as long as they could hold on, and as long as they are under 80 pounds. The parent will have to walk around with them, but it's only $8. And so I think that would be a fun for a little kid to go and enjoy,
Yeah, on a day off or
Definitely.
something, you can take the kids to
Yeah.
go do that.
Yeah, I really
Exactly.
like that idea.
And that's just a walk up, so you can walk up at any time and do that. For the horseback riding, reservations are recommended. That is $55 and it opens 60 days in advance. And for the horseback riding, you need to be at least 9 years old to be able to ride the horses.
Yeah,
You
no
know,
no weight limits or anything for people to know.
Um, Under 250 pounds, and it's 45 minutes for $55.
Okay.
I really don't think that that's too bad of a deal. Like, I was expecting the price to be a lot more than that. It's pretty reasonable. I mean, if you're a newbie to riding horses, I feel like 45 minutes is a perfect amount of time, and that's really not a bad deal. I would do that. I would like to do that. It's on my Disney bucket list.
Yeah. And actually, you also have to be over 48 inches tall to ride the horse.
Oh, that's a close one for me.
You're over 48 inches tall.
Just barely.
Funny.
Good tip. I like that. It gives you something to do on
Yeah.
a day
And
off.
normally they have other things that you can do, but right now, I guess they're closed still because of the thing that I'm not
Yeah,
allowed to say,
the illness.
the illness. Usually they have wagon rides, horse-drawn carriage rides, and holiday sleigh rides.
Oh, the sleigh
that would
rides
be
would be
so
fun.
fun.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I
How
wish they were
cool.
going to have that open whenever we go in December because I would definitely make time to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun.
All right, well, that's going to get us into the segment for the week. And this week's segment is Hero or Villain. And I picked Tramp from Lady and the Tramp. What do you guys think? What's your first, and I already know the answer, what's your first instinct on Tramp?
Hero.
Same.
Okay,
Hero.
explain. Explain why hero.
He helped save the lady. Come on now.
He did, and he sacrifices a lot for Lady,
He
and
does. And he protects the baby too.
he does. He protects the baby even because of his love for Lady, and just because I think he's a good dude, so he protects the baby.
Yep.
But I know at the beginning, he's causing trouble, and he's a little mischievous, but he's also had a hard life and he's just a street dog and he has never had love before and he just needed to be shown love for his hero characteristics to come through.
I agree. 100%. And it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular that makes you think that he is a villain? Like any kind of characteristic at all? Because I've got one that I can think of in particular.
I mean, he used to steal, right? So, I mean, that could be looked at as a villainous trait.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, but he was stealing. I mean,
Because he needed to eat. Yes, I
he
totally
had a hard
understand.
life. He was
Right, but
I mean, I'm grasping at straws at this point and trying to find out if there's any kind of characteristic that he has that might make him less virtuous in your eyes.
No, I love Tramp.
I think the one thing that I think of is how he usually gets other dogs caught by the dog pound and then just completely bails out on them. Like doesn't try to save them, just lets them sit in the pen, and that's the one thing that I think is kind of villainous for his characteristics.
At the beginning of the movie, he has more selfish tendencies, I feel like. And everything is more about him and him surviving on the streets, but like I said, he just needed to be shown some love and led down the right path. He found his way.
Yeah, I agree with that. And This one was just one that I thought we could have some fun with. Obviously, we all think that he is a hero because he definitely redeems himself in the end. But it's just fun to kind of talk about the character flaws of these characters that we've grown to love over the years.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to bring us into the main topic. And the main topic, like I said earlier in the episode, is Guests Gone Wild. And we have a few stories that are guests doing exactly that.
Going a little crazy at Disney.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the pandemic or if it's just people going crazy for Disney or maybe just the 50th anniversary or what's going on, but there's something in the water. So,
Well, I was wondering earlier if it's more frequent now than it was before, or if we're just hearing about it more often because of social media and TikTok and Instagram and
Oh,
Facebook
well,
and everything.
yeah, I think part of it is that, but I think part of it is that people are doing more crazy stuff because of social media, because they want to be the ones that go viral. They want to be the ones that, their videos shared like 1,000 times, no matter what the consequence for them, which could be a lifetime ban for Disney, from
Oh, that's
Disney.
very true. Very true. I
Yeah.
think that's a good point. So it's kind of a combination of things.
yeah, I could see that. I think definitely the viral aspect of social media is a part of this for sure. All right, well let's go ahead and talk about the first one because that kind of gets us directly into the first story that we're going to talk about, and this is the woman who groped Gaston and got kicked out of the line. I don't know if she got kicked out of the park completely, but I know that she got kicked out of the line to meet Gaston.
Right. And did y'all actually watch the video of her?
Yes.
So to me, it looked like she thought he was joking with her. She didn't think
Yeah.
he was serious because he was still in character. So I
Mhm.
can see how it's hard for you to figure out that he was being totally 100% serious and not just, playing the part.
Yeah, no, she was completely confused.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and Gaston, his character at Disney World is known to like kind of joke with the ladies and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But
Now, I guess we should say this one happened at Disneyland, not at Disney World. And it was also before the pandemic that it happened. It just came to light this week,
mm,
I guess.
Oh,
someone
interesting.
shared that video,
Yeah.
or it got some traction at least.
Yeah.
Right. Because, I mean, they don't even have the character meet and greets like that right now.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. So, what do y'all think about this? What do you think should have happened to her? And
So, first, I want to go on record and say that I really don't think that what she did was extremely offensive. I do understand where the Gaston had complete right to do what he did because it's personal space. Don't touch anybody who doesn't give you permission to. That's not right. But yeah, I mean, he definitely had the right aspect of, hey, don't do this. There's kids here. Come on. Like,
yeah.
be a grown up.
Yeah. I totally can understand that. It's also feels like part of the Gaston shtick, I guess. I don't know what else to call it. The playing around, joking around with women and stuff, and them joking
Mhm.
around with him. So I could see both sides. I can see definitely if he doesn't want to be touched, don't touch him. I totally get it. But I can see also how someone could think, oh, it's funny, whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it was inappropriate for her to do what she did. But here again, don't touch people that aren't allowing you to touch them. And especially don't touch them in a way that might be deemed inappropriate.
Well, and see, the thing is, he was able to still kind of stay in his character, which I know is really important to the whole Disney brand whenever he was telling her, hey, don't do this. But I hear stories all the time and watch, there's like entire YouTube videos of people who were friends with the characters whenever they did college program or whatever. And these girls are talking about like all of these incidents with these creepy guests
Oh
while they're
yeah.
taking pictures with them and things that they say to them and they try to touch them and all sorts of stuff, and it's a problem. Like, people don't touch the characters. Like, that's weird, that's not okay, that's not wanted.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
It's, yeah, it goes for more than just this girl with Gaston. Like, don't touch the characters except like a hug to
Like
say hello.
just
Only a wanted hug.
yeah, just
Don't
to
just
kind
run
of
up and
give
attack them.
just to kind of give a little bit of insight in case people haven't seen the video. If the role was reversed and it was like Belle and a guy, it would have definitely been inappropriate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. However, girls don't walk around without shirts on either. So there is something more private to me about a girl's chest than a guy's chest, because girls don't walk around naked on the top, but guys do.
I don't think that
Yeah,
necessarily really has a whole lot to do with what we're talking about, but I guess I can see what you're saying.
I just think it's weird either way.
It is.
Like if
It's
I'm
weird
taking
either
a
way.
picture with the character, my hands are gonna be by my side or on my hips or something. I don't know. It's weird
Yeah.
for her to think that that was like cool to do.
Right.
Pull a Keanu Reeves and act like your hand is around their waist or shoulders, but don't actually touch them.
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel anyway whenever I'm taking pictures with the character. I'm like trying to hover, like not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so awkward because you want,
Yes.
yeah, I know. I agree with that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've definitely learned through growing up to just hover. Don't actually touch people.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to be a character at Disney or friends with a character, but that's definitely an unwanted negative.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yep.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into the second story. The second story is the castle climber. So this one is the guy took some stairs that were labeled cast members only and walked up to the balcony at the castle and was having a friend take pictures for social media.
Yes. Apparently, this is a guy that is an influencer.
Of course.
And so I'm guessing that had a lot to do with it. I think he may have gotten like a 6-month ban for doing this.
Yeah, 6 months.
I don't know
that
how
that's
I feel
worth it.
about this. It's definitely not worth it, but like some people only go to Disney once a year. Some people only go to Disney like once in their life. So it really might not be that big of a deal to him to get a 6-month ban. He got his content, he's going viral, like he got what he wants, unfortunately.
Right. He did. But if he is a Disney influencer, I hadn't heard of him. But if he was a Disney influencer and you can't go for the next 6 months,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I kind of, for some reason, I kind of doubt he was just a Disney influencer. He seems, I don't know, I feel like most Disney influencers have more respect for the park and the cast than that, but
You would think so,
I don't
but not
know.
necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just annoying that people do this because then in turn there's going to be more strict restrictions and more strict like access points, I guess, that we can't go to now because this guy abused the whole thing. Like there's a rope there for a reason. It says don't cross for a
Yeah.
reason, and he did it anyway. And I feel like if people do that, we're not even gonna be able to get close to the castle. They're just gonna put a barricade around it.
Yeah. I feel
don't
like even
think
before,
so.
I don't know. They have that stage there now, which wasn't there like whenever we went back to Disney World the first couple of times. They didn't have that big old stage in front of the
Yeah.
castle.
Mhm.
So whenever Disney first opened back up, there were people who were going up on that stage to get pictures and things. So I feel like this is something that's definitely been happening a lot more since reopening. Maybe because there's not as many people as there was before and that it's easier to do things like that. I don't know, but I feel like it's becoming a problem.
Yeah, and maybe also still not as many cast members as there were before to be standing there preventing people from going up there.
That's true too.
Yeah.
My thing is, though, is that, I mean, they have surveillance on all these areas, and that's one of the big ones I would think that they would have surveillance at, is a stairway going up to a balcony on the castle. So
You would think so.
I don't think that there's going to be a whole lot of, like, there's not going to be a bouncer standing at the stairs.
Well, there was a cast member standing at the bottom of it, and he still went up anyway. First of all, she didn't have her communication device, whatever
Her
it may be.
taser.
No, not a taser. Communication. Come on now.
Imagine chase him down and tase him.
She couldn't call anybody to come and take care of him, which seems odd anyway. You would think that all the cast members would have a way to communicate with them at all times.
Yeah.
That just seems odd. So she had to go find somebody else to call it in.
Yeah. This whole thing is just kind of annoying to me. I mean, call me an old person. I don't care. But it's just like, come on, you're not more important than other people. You don't just get to go up there and take pictures for your social media while other people stand on the ground and have to take pictures. Like, dude, it's not all about going viral. But it is to him, I guess.
It is to some people.
I can't deal with the world of going viral and doing things like this for it. If you go viral for the right reasons, I'm all for it. But come on.
Yeah.
You know, and in all honesty, I mean, if they're a Disney influencer, it becomes a little bit problematic to have a 6-month ban. But if they're just like a typical social media influencer and just happen to be doing some Disney content and they get a 6-month ban, it's not that big of a deal to them.
Right.
No.
But this really opens up the question of, what can I get away with?
No, it does not.
Nope.
You are not going to be with me if you're going to be doing any stuff to get you kicked out of Disney. No, absolutely not.
No,
Because
mean-
I don't want to be kicked out of Disney.
exactly.
I mean, I can still try to do the tape
No.
off.
No, no,
Mm-mm.
no.
No caution tape for parades.
No.
I'm just saying.
Although I did have a great idea.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
Okay, so when we were at Magic Kingdom watching Happily Ever After for the last time, there were people everywhere. I mean, we're still in, little iffy time in Florida, the pandemic stuff, and there were people everywhere. I was like, this is a perfect time to have like one of those cans of fart,
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
And just spray it around you because, one, it's going to keep people away from you. They're not going to want to be around you. Or two, if they're still around you, they can't smell anything and you need to run.
That's fair.
True. That's hilarious.
But
That
the
is a good
problem,
point.
the problem with your idea is that then you have to sit around in it.
I don't care. It keeps all the germs away. It's great.
All right. Well, you try that one. I'll try the caution tape. We'll see who has the better time.
I think mine's a great idea.
Yeah, you just got to wear a gas mask along with it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The next one we're going to talk about is the illegal VIP tours. Man, why don't you talk about that one a little bit?
These really, really upset me really bad. They do have VIP tours that you could do through Disney.
Yes.
So if you want a VIP tour, book it the correct way. If you book one of these illegal VIP tours, you're really taking the chance that you may just totally lose your money. I saw recently that some people had paid for it. They were on this VIP tour, a fake one, and Disney ended up finding out about it, and they were all asked to leave. So can you imagine paying all this money for a VIP tour? Not only are you not getting the tour anymore, now you're not even going to be in the park anymore because you were asked to leave because you're breaking the rules.
I just don't understand how people are even getting away with this. Like, how are they advertising for these things? How, like, how is this even happening?
I think it's easy. I think people are just going online on Facebook or whatever and saying, "Oh, I've got one for you. Here, I'll charge you half the price or whatever," And I don't know if the rumor I've heard is they're either like Club 33 members doing it or people from Golden Oaks doing it. I just can't imagine that a Club 33 member would take the chance of losing
Me neither.
out on that.
Yeah, that's
I
a
know,
lot of
and-
money to throw down the drain.
Right.
Well, but if they're actually doing these tours, they're probably making up the money to pay for their.
Yeah,
That's
but I'm
membership.
sure if you're running illegal tours and you get caught, everything goes away. You lose
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
money, you lose all your privileges, you get a ban.
Oh, you probably get a lifetime ban
Yeah.
for doing that. That seems like it wouldn't be taken lightly because
No.
you are at that point taking away business from Disney. And
Yes.
we know they don't want that.
Yeah. And now the most recent one that I heard of that got caught was someone stole one of the iPads, the VIP iPads, and was making reservations for the rides because they can get right into the front of the line and not have to wait in like even the fast pass lines or lightning lane lines now. They just walk up to the front. And someone stole that and was using it and they got caught.
See, that's so crazy to me. And I do feel somewhat bad for some of the people that are booking these tours because I feel like a lot of their market is going to be people who've never been to Disney and don't understand that like this isn't a thing.
Right.
So they're counting on that, like people's lack of knowledge of Disney
Yeah.
and taking those people's money, and that's sad. And I hope all of these people are found and given lifetime bans. We don't want them.
Nope, we don't.
I'm curious if it's people that are from overseas that are getting some of these tours.
Getting them, like booking
Taking the
them.
tours.
Yeah, like taking
Yeah.
the tours.
Some of them maybe. I know of people in the US that have done it and people who have questioned me about it. I'm like, oh no, do not do that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, and that's I don't know how people the message needs to be out. Like there are people, I don't know if like impersonating cast members or what the right word for that would be, but like do not book these tours. Like they need a statement on the website under the VIP tours or something. I don't know. People need to know that this is happening and not to book them.
Well, I think it may be like a lot of the other not so nice things that happen at Disney and they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that they're like avoiding it, but
Right. At some
I don't know.
point.
It makes me sad for people who are booking this and getting this awful experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like a disservice to the park goers who
Yeah.
fall for these tours to not have
Mhm.
some kind of disclaimer saying, hey, these are illegal tours. Do not book them.
Yeah, we are not associated with Disney in any way. We should not be doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, you know what that kind of makes me want to do? Makes me kind of want to fight people. Speaking of fighting at the ferries, let's talk about that for a little bit.
Nice
See,
segue
that's
there.
a fight I could get behind, though. I could fight some illegal tour group.
Well, Emily, we all
People.
know that you are prepared to fight at Disney. So,
Shut up, Jared.
Apparently,
Don't
Emily really
start
wants to get
this.
kicked out.
I do not,
Just like
guys.
Jared.
I was just defending myself.
Do you think the people who were fighting on the ferry got kicked out? Think they got a ban?
I don't know.
I would assume they got some. I mean, they might have had some legal actions pressed against them, but I would think they would have had something from Disney too.
I just can't imagine what would be that bad that you're going to fight and, first of all, ruin your children's trip because you know that scared them to death,
Yes.
and risk them never being able to go back because you got kicked out of the park. I don't understand. I just don't understand.
And the video, I'm assuming y'all have both watched the video, right?
There's been multiple instances, like in the last 3 months. I want to say at least 3 or 4 different ones that I've seen.
Okay, well, I've only seen one, maybe two of them, but one specific one that I'm thinking of, it's sad because there are little kids that are with the fighting parties, and one of the little girls is just like following her mom around as her mom's in a fight with this other lady. And then this teenage girl is just standing there, and all of a sudden she just gets smacked out of nowhere. She's not doing anything. And then she starts swinging too, but she wasn't before.
Yeah.
And I was just like, can you imagine your parents are in a fist fight with some people and you're just standing there and get just smacked out of nowhere?
I just don't understand. And it almost seems like it's something that would happen at Epcot, not at Magic Kingdom.
Because people are drinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you don't really have all the drinking at Magic Kingdom, so what is going on?
I don't know if they're just exhausted from, like sometimes Disney vacations can get a little exhausting and
Well, yeah, but then who has the energy to do that after you're exhausted?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't imagine getting in a fist fight. I don't know. Words are one thing, but fist fight, that's like a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm very curious as to like if they got kicked out of the park for the rest of the day, if they got some kind of ban for
a lot of them are
6 months or something. I wouldn't.
A lot
think
of them are
6
at the
months,
night.
but, yeah.
Like after the park, when everybody's leaving at the end of the night, that seems to be when they're happening at the very end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, maybe the ferries, but there
the
have
ferry
been
ones I've seen.
Multiple fights throughout the years at the parks themselves, like in the middle of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was one at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say that was right before the closure.
Yeah.
That was a huge one.
Years ago.
Yep.
There was one at Hollywood Studios right after everything opened up again. And I'm like, this is another thing. I don't remember seeing all of these fights before. Was it something that we just weren't hearing about? But now, because of social media, we are?
Probably.
Or is it just happening more regularly now that everything's opened back up again? I don't know.
I think it's probably people are actually covering the story of people fighting now. It kind of goes along with like shark attacks for a summer, like way back when. Like the more people are reporting about it, the more people think it's just happening everywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just one of those phenomenons.
Well, and I think, a long time ago, people couldn't just whip out their cell phone and record it, but now there's like documented proof that this fight happened. So,
yeah, but even before the closure, I don't remember. I mean, a few, but not this many as
I think maybe
everything opened back up. I don't know.
Maybe tensions are running higher. People are, I don't know. I think people are dumb. Don't fight at Disney. You're there with your kids. And even if you're not there with your kids, there are other people's kids around, and they don't need to see that.
No, they don't.
I mean, in a time where we're supposed to be social distance, people are getting right up in each other's face to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
Yep.
It's a little crazy.
It's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Something else that's unfortunate is the resale of merch. And this one really has a dark place for people because if you're one of those people who are going through and buying up all the merch just to turn around and resell it, there's a certain place for you.
Okay, there
yeah.
are two different sides on the resale part, and I definitely don't like the people who go in and buy a whole bunch of stuff and then you see it on eBay for like 3 times what it's worth. I definitely don't like those. But there are people who have legitimate businesses where they go and like they have a list of items that people want that they've asked for them to purchase. So a personal shopper basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
feel like
personal
that's different.
shoppers
That's
are not to be lumped in with these people.
no, I don't think so either.
But sometimes they could go in and buy a bunch of stuff. So that's why I wanted to make sure I mentioned it. I don't have a problem with the personal shoppers. I do have a problem with the people who go in and buy everything and then put it on eBay. That bothers me.
Well, here's the thing with the personal shoppers. So the personal shoppers go in, like you said, with a list. They have multiple clients that they're getting merchandise for. They're not buying the merchandise and then reselling it to those people for an extremely inflated price. They're purchasing it from for the actual client and giving it to them and only charging them for their time. There's something completely different than just a regular person going into the shop, buying all of the Splash Mountain merchandise whenever they announce that it's going to shut down, and then turn around and try to sell it on eBay or on Facebook Marketplace or whatever for like 10 times what it was actually selling for in the stores.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
And see,
completely
it-
different.
Oh, I totally agree. And that's why I wanted to mention it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want it to all be lumped together.
Yeah. I just think it's such a shame and it's a really big bummer that people are doing that. Like, I hate going online and seeing these items that are like $20 in the store and now they're listed for $150 online. And you see pictures of the people with these huge like trash bags full of stuff. Like the specific one that really got me was the Splash Mountain stuff because this is my favorite ride. It means so much to me. Like I have a Splash Mountain tattoo. Like I wanted just a little Splash Mountain souvenir. Like when our parents went to Disney with y'all, but I asked my mom if she could go and look and get me a Brer Rabbit stuffed animal. Well, the whole store was closed because they didn't even have any more merch.
Yeah.
Like everyone had bought it and then I went and looked online and there it was for like $200.
Yeah.
It's
ridiculous.
awful. Like you're taking the joy out of going to Disney and buying souvenirs. Like it's making it stressful for people. They feel like they have to rush to buy things now so that they can get it before it's resold on eBay for $200. Like it's taking the fun out of it.
Well, one of the things I definitely want to talk about too is the bots that people are using now to go and buy up all the merch on websites. Like this is one of the reasons why PlayStations and Xboxes are hard to find is because as soon as they hit websites, the bots buy all of them. So you're seeing some companies, not all of them, which I think all of them should go into doing this, but some websites actually have multiple verification steps that you have to take to actually purchase the item so that the bots can't get through that firewall. And really, I think Disney should be doing the same thing for their merchandise whenever they're doing like special events like the 50th anniversary for merchandise like that. Like put a limit as to how many you can buy. Like I understand that it's kind of inconvenient for larger families who all want a particular Spirit jersey or something, but you know, put a cap on how many actual items you can buy and then set up your website where you have to have multiple verifications where bots can't just go in and buy everything.
Yeah. Now, see, my husband and I talked about it a little bit, and he was like, yeah, Disney wants to put in things that are showing they're trying. Like they put in the 2 item max, whatever, for each item. But it doesn't seem like they're actually stopping anybody who's buying more. So they still want everything to be sold. So they're almost in the I don't care as long as it's being sold.
That's what
But we're
I think
gonna
too.
look like we're doing something
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to appease
Yeah,
the people who aren't getting stuff.
That's how I feel about it too. Unfortunately, I feel like it's kind of like, well, a sale's a sale.
Yeah.
And I wish it wasn't like that, because these are people who are like, have been loyal fans and customers for some of them their entire lives. And the people who are buying the stuff in excess typically are not those loyal fans and customers. They're just
Yeah.
trying to make money.
Yeah.
Well, I know annual pass holders seem to be some of the biggest culprits, it seems like. And they get a discount on stuff, and then they go and resell it for a whole bunch more. And the thing is, they can lose their annual pass if they're caught.
That's what I was going to ask.
That's one of the new stipulations in the annual passes, is that you can lose it if you're caught reselling everything.
Yeah. Which that's the way it should be. I mean, if you're getting a discount from Disney specifically because you're an annual pass holder and then you're going and reselling, you should lose your privileges for sure.
I think so too.
And I think if Disney would actually follow through with that and make it public that it happened, I think you would start seeing less of it.
Yeah, it would deter people.
Right. But they're not going to do that.
No, I don't think that they're going to make it public.
I don't know that they're actually taking the annual passes away from people who do it anyway.
I mean,
It's very easy to see.
I'm sure they probably have. I don't know if it's
I know.
everyone, but
Yeah, I know there was one annual pass holder in one of the groups I'm in that went and showed all the stuff he bought, like bragging about it. And it took like 2 minutes to go to eBay and find all the stuff he had listed on eBay trying to sell it. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Were people calling him out on it?
Oh, yes, they were. But it's easy for Disney to find that.
Yeah.
But I doubt they're going to do anything about it.
I don't know. I hope they would, but I'm not within the organization, so I can't say one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope they do. And maybe they do. Maybe we just don't hear about it. I do think it would help if it was known that people were losing their privileges because of this. And I think less people would try it.
Yeah, it would be a deterrent for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But
now I do want to say this, that this does not include, at least for me, this does not include people who are going and purchasing items to hold them and wait for them to gain value. Because, I mean, I do that from time to time. Like I have I guess one of the best examples that I can give right now is the Walt and Castle at Disneyland. I have the Funko Pops. I bought 2 of them. Whenever I purchased them, they were like $30, and now they're worth $145.
Yeah, I feel like that's different too, though. You bought 2. You didn't buy 200.
I didn't buy 20.
You didn't buy the whole store.
Right. And if there's something that you see, okay, this is a limited edition thing, I think 20 years from now, this might be really valuable. I don't see the harm in buying 1 or 2 of them and holding on to them in the hopes that it will be more valuable one day.
My issue are the people who go in with wheelchairs. I've seen that. I've seen strollers filled to the top where they can't even see around it with packages and items. It's
looks
ridiculous.
like Black Friday.
Yeah.
Right. And you have 1 or 2 people. There is no way that they are doing anything legitimate with that. No way.
Yeah.
No.
It's wrong.
It is.
Unless you just go into their house and they have a whole entire wall of that item. It's just like a full wall, head to floor.
It's just a Disney hoard.
Ceiling to floor.
Yeah. Of shirts. It's all Spirit jerseys.
Just a whole wall.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
I know.
It's unfortunate. If you have seen the 50th anniversary merch shops, you've seen the photos of people just packed in like sardines in these shops, just trying to get merch. Anything that says 50 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the lines from the actual day of the 50th anniversary,
Mm-hmm.
and they were insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But there were no lines in the rides because everybody was in line
That is true.
to get into the stores.
Well, and I also saw, because most people were in those lines at Magic Kingdom, but Epcot also had the same stuff. They were selling the same stuff, and there was a line, but people were getting through it pretty quickly, and it seems like most of those lines were isolated to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Well, because
Well,
Magic
it's too late
Kingdom
now.
was
That could
the
have been
one.
a tip, but
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom's the one that actually opened
yeah.
50 years ago, first of
But
all.
they had the same exact merch at Epcot.
Yes.
People want to know where you
but
bought it.
But also, I think the store, and now it has changed since the last time we were there, but I think the store at Epcot is probably laid out a little better than what the one at Magic Kingdom is.
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom, it's long and narrow almost, so it's not the easiest, I don't feel like, to get through.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not.
So I think that may be part of the reason that people take so long in there.
Probably so. But anyway, that's going to bring us to the end of Guess Gone Wild. I mean, this is Guess Going Wild for sure. And I'm sure there are many other things that we could talk about, but these are just the ones in particular that we wanted to discuss.
Well, they're the most recent.
Yeah, I mean, most recent, but also, I guess, the most fun to talk about at the same time.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, that's going to get us into mousekeeping. We want to definitely tell you about our YouTube channel. You can find it at bit.ly/T3M YouTube. That's all lowercase. We're going to have our live streams there, and our podcast is going to be on there as well. So if you're not listening on a podcast app, you can listen on YouTube. We do also have a TikTok. You can find us at T3M Podcast on there, along with all of our other social media accounts. If you love the show, let us know. Leaving us a 5-star written review is the best way to let us know if we're covering the topics that you want us to cover.
I'd love to plan your next magical getaway. Whether you're looking for a Disney vacation, Universal vacation, all-inclusive resort, international destination, or a cruise, I'm here to help. Contact me when you're ready for your free, no-obligation quote. And don't forget, my services are complimentary. You can find me on Facebook at Amanda.hollis, Capture the Magic Vacations, or send me an email at amanda.hollis@capturethemagicvacations.com. You can find my contact information in the show notes.
Join us for our next episode, releasing Thursday, the 21st of October. Be sure you're subscribed to the show so that you're updated when a new episode comes out every other Thursday.
All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you all for listening. You can also be a part of the magic by following the show at T3M Podcast on all social media platforms. That's T3M Podcast. Leave us a 5-star written review and we'll read it on an upcoming episode. If you have an announcement that you would like to have on the show or just want to reach out to us, you can send us an email at T3MPodcast@gmail.com.
Have a zippity-doo-dah day.
See you real soon.